And here we are at part 4, and this are the disappointing. And these two figures fit that category so well. These figures actually were two of the ones that I was most excited about getting in the line whenever I first saw it in the issue of Toy Fair that premiered these figures, this series, aside from the Build-A-Figure itself. But I'll get onto that in the next part. These two figures were the ones that I was looking forward to the most, and for me to get them and them to be the way they are, oh my god, I am so disappointed in these toys. They could have been so much better. And you know, if this is what happens when Hasbro does an original mold with a toy, then please keep reusing the Toy Biz molds, because really these toys are awful. Now I'm going to start off with the one that I was kind of expecting to be a little off, and that was the Beast. Now this Beast, horrible. I know in the shadowing here it actually kind of looks cool, like through the camera I can see it. I'm like, wow, I'd almost buy that. But I did buy it, and I wish I wouldn't have had to. His articulation is really bad and kind of stupid. He has the, little arm socket there and the pivot and swivel elbows. He has the wrist articulation and, chest articulation. But his head is stuck looking kind of down. I mean, I've got his back as far as I can, and he still looks like he's looking more down. It could have used a few paint washes, because otherwise he's really blue. But here comes the worst part of it. Now, as you can see here on the legs, they went ahead and included the double knee joint, which, okay, this is Beast. I would expect that. But the way they did the hips, this double knee joint doesn't come into play at all without being completely useless. I mean, it is a useless feature, and really I understand that Beast in his more feline form like this doesn't have the dexterity of Beast whenever he was the big blue monkey, but he should still have some decent posability, and they really robbed this figure of that. Unfortunately, I needed a comic book accurate version of the new cat-headed Beast to throw with my Astonishing X-Men, and what I get is a very subpar figure. I guess he kind of looks okay, but really he doesn't. He's just disappointing. Now, let's get on to old Silent Boots himself, Black Bolt. Okay, now I'm going to start off by saying the figure looks awesome. I like him. The black, the silver, everything works. The wings work-ish. The toy could have been successful from just the visual standpoint, and he does look like he fell over. Good. I'm not going to debate the fact that he doesn't at least look like a decent figure. He's not, however, because he is very unarticulated. He has the same articulation set up as Namor from the Ronin line. So it's just the arm, with the little socket joint there, and he has the pivot and swivel elbows, the pivoting and swiveling wrists. Same thing with the knees. No ball socket up here. Articulated ankles. Good movement in the head. The thing about this one is that the wings really hinder movement, and I mean that in the worst way. They feel real frail. They don't look, they look good, don't get me wrong, but they feel that they're real thin material, And whenever you look at where they're hooked up at, I mean, it looks like it's held on by a thread, and I question whether he's going to stay that way, but it hinders his movement a lot. And on top of that, where they decide to peg the wings into, or thread the wings into, I guess would be a better wording there, is on the top of the bicep. And it just, that's dumb. I don't get it. I don't get why you wouldn't go for the underarm. I mean, you know, or at least the side of the bicep. Why on top? Because it really does. It hinders his posability, and it doesn't really look that great because, you know, the wings are sitting there hanging way up here when they should be hanging somewhere down here. You know, it really messes with this toy a lot. And I was so excited to finally get a Black Bolt. For me to have these problems with it, I'm very disappointed. But anyway, so these two guys are the worst of the lot, in my opinion. Check out the next video for my thoughts on Holocaust himself.